How many of you guys would rather go home and watch TV and play on the internet instead of going out and playing outside and, at least when you were small or a child? Would you guys rather go home and watch TV? We got one, two, okay. Well, my claim is technology has a negative effect on children. Technology has negatively affected children's health physically and psychologically, their behavior, and is a danger to kids while using the internet. Children are becoming obese due to the lack of exercise. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, KFF, kids spend nearly 4 hours a day and an additional 2 hours on the computer. Children are deciding to sit on the couch and watch TV, be lazy, or sit at the computer to surf the web instead of playing tag or soccer or going outside and playing. Parents are allowing the TV or the internet to become the babysitter instead of playing with their children, actively getting involved with them, playing outside, doing something with them. The children have a lack of motivation from technology to exercise and take care of their body. So basically the TV isn't really advertising them to go outside and play, it's just, cartoons or something. This leads to physical health issues. Diabetes is increased, which is juvenile type 2. Kids are also getting orthopedic problems. The excess weight is a burden on their bone structure. It is hard for these children to be active when their body is being dragged down by the weight. Their bodies are not capable of holding that much weight. According to CNFTnews.com, a study in 2000 on the effects of laptop computers in schools showed that 60% of students aged 10 to 17 complained about neck and back discomfort while using the PC. While sitting at the computer or couch, kids tend to sit weird and they can tweak their bodies, causing their bone structure to have damage. There's also skin disorders that children can incur. High blood pressure, asthma, sleep disorder, and liver disease is all as physical effects of exercise and them watching TV. According to Robert Murray at University of North Carolina of Chapel Hill, low levels of childhood physical activity and aerobic fitness are associated with metabolic syndrome in adolescence. So efforts need to begin early in childhood to increase exercise. By increasing exercise in children, they will have a less chance of unhealthy years in their adult years. There's also psychological issues, low self-esteem, depression, and eating disorders. According to Mark Clayson, who graduated King's College in London with a medical degree, obese children tend to have low self-esteem and less confidence in social situations than their peers. Sometimes they will even try to avoid gym class out of the shame of their parents. Depression and anxiety problems occur due to their weight. They don't know how to handle it and they get depressed with it. Eating disorders such as overeating and undereating. This is a way to cope with their depression of being overweight and unhealthy. All these problems are due to due to too much television and to all the technology getting in the way of their physical activities. Technology has also affected children's behavior. More fights and crime occur at school and while playing with others. The vocabulary dictionary has been widely spread. Most shows on TV use some language that children should not be exposed to at this point. Technology has also given children too much information, such as sex, crime, and drugs. Technology is dangerous for children and teenagers. The dangers is instant messaging, chat rooms, emails, and social networking sites. According to the PEW Internet and American study, more than 80% of American kids aged 12 to 17 use the internet, and more than half of these kids log on every day. Kids are exposed to too much on the internet. Most kids do not understand the dangers of the web and meeting new people. They just think meeting new people, they have new friends. People can easily lie online and are able to get the kids to believe anything. Cyberbullying is more dangerous because no one is there to intervene their harassment. Again, kids are more likely to believe someone else online if they're not meeting them in person or talking to them in person. According to an online resource that educates parents about internet safety, cyberbullying includes sending hateful messages or even death threats to children, spreading lies about them online, making nasty comments on their social networking profiles, or even creating a website. On an episode of Oprah last week, there was a girl, 15 years old, who had met a man online whom he had lied about his age and who he was. Later they met up and he took her back to his home. He then tortured her and sexually abused her for 4 days before the FBI found her and arrested this man. You can never really believe anyone who you meet on the internet because there are some out there who lie and just want to harm kids. In conclusion, technology has a negative effect on children because it causes some to become obese due to lack of exercise and causes physical and psychological problems for their children. Technology has also affected kids' behavior and exposed them to too much. The internet is a major danger to kids because people lie and manipulate the kids to get them to believe whatever they say. So technology has negatively affected them, and we need to have less technology and more physical activity. Thank you.
All right, Kim, the audience survey, I think we had a couple of them today. They don't work very well as attention devices. They're a little complicated, so other people might want to steer away from them a little bit. You have a very clear statement of what your claim is. I think you need to focus a little bit more on what you're going to define as technology, because at one point it sounds like it's TV, another point it's the internet. I'm not sure if there's other technology that's going to be included in your argument. You had a pretty solid layout of what the structure was going to be, and there's a little bit of background information. I think that you need numerical signposts on the supporting points as you get through them. People paying close attention will be able to pick out places where you have distinguished the information, where you're making a transition from one idea to the next, but I do think that the number might help you in a couple of places. The examples that you have, you got a lot of hypothetical examples on the obesity thing. I think that's part of the argument that needs a lot more development, this notion that kids are giving up playing outdoors or exercise or doing any of those kinds of things because of television or because of access to the internet. You need some kind of statistical correlation to go along with that. It just seems to be a presupposition on your part, and there may be dozens of other explanations as to why kids are obese, so you need to develop the argument connected to the technology issue. The example that you have on the last point about the girl, the 15-year-old on Oprah, who is basically taken away and tortured and raped and all those horrible, terrible things that happen. Is that more likely to occur because of access to the internet? Did the number of child abductions increased over a period of time because of access to the internet? We know that there are cases there, but is it any more likely than the number of cases, for instance, where that occurs, where there was no contact between people ahead of time? If you're going to make an argument that it's increasing or having an increasing negative effect, we have to have some correlation with that, and all we've got are the examples, and it's hard to generalize from examples by themselves. Let's see. There's not much doubt about the obesity issue being related to diabetes and other problems, but we're back to the same point that I was making earlier. You need to show that the obesity issue is related to the kids' lack of activity, which is related to the technology that's available. I thought you had a pretty effective summary that reminded us what the points were that you were trying to make in the speech. There's a little bit too much reading when you're going on that. At one point, you've got this link on drugs and violence and language, and it doesn't really develop very much. The issue of cyberbullying could be an argument in and of itself, and I think that's a little bit underdeveloped too. So there are some places where you're throwing some jabs, but there's no follow-through on those points. All right, thank you. Sorry about